Okay. And we are back with some more Along the Edge. What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. I am having a decent day myself, and I'm about to more read, do some more reading. As you can tell, I'm nervous already because I apparently read like poop. But I'm gonna do my best. Okay. So let's get back into it. Just had a rough night. Let's get back to reading here. As I slowly recover from my night, slumped on the sofa with a good book and cup of tea, I hear someone knocking. I'm surprised to find Frank smiling on the other side of the threshold, holding a bouquet of flowers. Aw, Frank, with your little neck holdy thing here. Carnations, your favorites. When I saw them at the market, I thought about you right away. He hands me the bouquet as he enters the hall. Would you offer me a coffee? Hmm. I don't know about this dude or not. I don't know if I want to go through the whole love story thing. I want to get on to this stuff right up here. If you look up here, one of the things we haven't really accomplished is what the heck's going on with all the witchery and weirdness. I think there's like a good evil thing here too, but more that the choices are going to affect your future. And I guess you could go this without playing it magically, but I kind of want to see what's going on. So I think let's figure out what Frank wants first. Sure. Come on in for a frickin' coffee, Frank. Come on in. So, do you like it here at the village? He follows me into the kitchen. I put the flowers in a vase and turn on the espresso maker. Well, I'm doing all right. Found a couple of jobs, including big roof repairs. What's really pleasant around here is that people are so easy to work with. They don't ask you to justify yourself at each step. They don't entertain wacky notions about how I should do my work. Oh, they're not picky? How weird is that? What about you? How are you doing? We chit-chat for a while in passing. I tell him about my eventful evening. I listen to him with one ear while sorting out my family albums. 2 coffees and an hour later, Frank decides to get into the thick of it. You told me about this tower. You told me about this tower without a door, remember? I'm a bit intrigued by this. Do you mind if I have a look? Make yourself at home. I'm as intrigued as you are. I'm wondering what might be inside. In this case, I'm going to investigate and I'll give you my report. Do you want to look for an old pipe? It would complete your panoply, don't you think, Mr. Sherlock Holmes? Oh, an old pipe. That kind of pipe. I'm like, who's going to beat up? I've been watching too much Fallout and too much Mafia 3 apparently because I don't know. I guess he's going to attack the wall. Stop laughing at me. I'm sure I can resolve this mystery of the yellow room. Then Frank goes to do his stuff, which allows me to get back to my thriller and my plaid. He reappears later in the afternoon, his coat covered with dust and his shoes equally covered with mud. So, from the look on your face, I'm quite sure you're not going to say elementary, my dear Watson. Oh, look, Jesus, what's up with your face, dude? The wall beat you up? Nope, I must admit my defeat. Then what are your conclusions? There must be an entry somewhere, but I couldn't find it. I tried to get in the wall with the ladder. I tried to get in by the wall with the ladder, but the arrow slits are too narrow and too deep. I can't make anything out, even less get through, unless I blow up parts of the wall. Mrs. Bartine found me doing my aerobatic act, so I asked her a couple of questions. Seems like she has no idea what's inside either. Told you. When I entertained the idea to get in by the roof, she dissuaded me vehemently. Looks like the roof hides, in fact, an older stone ceiling with no way in either. That kind of sucks. And when I try to wrap my mind around the kind of scaffolding I would need to get up there, I'd rather take her word for it. Well, at least you've tried. Sure, well, I have to go. Big day tomorrow. Back to smiling, not so beat down. Thanks for the coffee. You're welcome. Good evening. See ya. I don't dream of anything this night. Monday is particularly tiresome. I don't know if it's the students who were in Cabot's to make me suffer, or if it's just that I haven't completely recovered from my weekend. To top it off, as I get to the school gates, I catch a glimpse of Mrs. Mrs. L, Mrs. Bitchface, waiting for her son and looking at me menacingly. That's because she's a total Oh, okay. I'm quite sure she's about to jump on the occasion to antagonize me. After my long day, I must admit it's tempting to try to dodge her, even if it's not very professional. I'm considering my options. I notice she's already walking resolutely toward me. What should I do? All right, let's just get it done. I see Stanislas Maltaire, who is holding a child by the hand in the corner of my eye. Without thinking, I walk toward this known face. Excuse me. And it seems to work. Mrs. Levy gives up and goes back to the other side of the gates. Good, because screw that lady. And I think I hit the wrong choice, but that's fine. Stanislas is smirking at me mischievously. The situation seems to humor him considerably. Oh, of course it does. I walked right into a trap. Pierre-Yves Maltaire. Pierre-Yves Maltaire. Uncle Stan, who is this lady? Stanislas, Pierre, this pretty lady is Daphne de la Tour. She lives at the castle. At the castle of the witch? You're not a witch, Mrs. Daphne, are you? Forgive him. As you can see, he's not afraid to speak his mind. He adds, winking at me. Hey. He must take a little bit after his uncle. I crouch to put myself at the child's height. Maybe I'm a nice witch. Since I live in the castle of the witch, it means I must be a witch, right? He hides behind his uncle's legs, intimidated. Nice. Now I like where this is going. Yes. In this case, I must definitely be one. But maybe I'm the nice kind of witch, don't you think? Does it exist, a nice witch, Uncle Stan? Of course it does. Miss de la Tour is a teacher at the middle school. She knows about things. Whatever that means. I get back up and I notice Stanislas is putting out his hand. I don't believe we've been formally introduced. Stanislas Maltaire. But my friends call me Stan. Oh, thank God. Why didn't I think to call him Stan? What's wrong with me today? Daphne de la Tour. But it seems you already know it. Of course. I'm sure you've noticed how fast news spreads around here. Daphne. Can I call you Daphne? When my father discovered something was going on at the castle, he had to know what was happening. Please excuse him. The poor man is obsessed by the de la Tours. But don't let this put you off. The rest of the family is not all cut from the same cloth. Right. Sure you're not, Mr. Snobby Snobass. We'll take to coffee together one of these days to get to know each other. I'm sure we have a lot in common. Or you just want to jump in the pants. Before I have a chance to answer, he adds, by the way, you must have received your invitation for the cocktail, haven't you? The cocktail? I hope you're coming. My father forces me to attend, but it's atrociously stuffy. Uncle Stan, can I have my afternoon snack? Yes, Pierre, in a minute. So, Junior wants his 4 o'clock snack. Say goodbye to Daphne, Pierre. My name is Pierre-Yves. Pierre-Yves, not Junior. I don't even know if I have that's probably a terrible fake accent. Okay, the child takes my hand. Are you coming, Auntie Daphne? Oh, now you're Auntie Daphne. It didn't take him long to succumb to your charms. Auntie Daphne has things to do. She can't come with us this time. Let's go home. You're driving. For real? Of course not. Duh. Dork. Not even in France do they let little kids drive, I guess. Daphne, pleased to meet you. See you soon. In an instant, Stan and Junior disappeared in a sports car, and I remained speechless on the sidewalk, trying to sort out what just happened. Stan's hitting on you because he wants to get in your pantaloons. Okay. When I get back home, I discover I have mail. Excuse me, pardon me. It's a nice square envelope that contains an invitation to a cocktail. Oh, look. What timing. I guess this is what Stan was talking about. Okay. Looks like I've been invited to the reopening of the City Hall's gardens. That's just that just went through renovations. Wow, I cannot read. I'm back to not being able to read. I bet all the local upper crust will attend, so it will be an excellent excuse to learn about the Maltese. I could ask Frank to come with me, but I know this kind of social event isn't really his cup of tea. On the other hand, going alone, don't ask Frank. No, I'd rather go on my own. Then again, it would be a little dishonest to ask him given our situation. See? Yeah, the D-Day comes quickly. As I get ready for the evening, I'm confronted to an existential dilemma. That is the worst sentence ever. I'm confronted to an existential dilemma. I think you're supposed to be confronted by one, but hey, I speak American English. We're stupid. I can deduce from the invitation card that the proper attire is required, so I don't see myself hanging there in denim and twin set, whatever the hell that is. I don't know anything remotely appropriate for this kind of occasion, but after raiding the wardrobe of my mother's room, I find two dresses that might somewhat do the job. I just can't choose. On the other hand, there's the long dress, Empire style. I guess it's more the taste and the criteria of elegance of my grandmother. To be honest, I don't see my mother wearing this spontaneously. It's pastel blue, usually the kind of color that agrees with my complexion. I don't know, you seem kind of gingery. Blue's not usually your thing. More of a brown, earthy tones. I mean, look at the red, dark. Well, that's probably dyed. She's probably not a redhead. She does look, it's funny, she does look remotely like somebody I used to work with a few years ago. The other option is a black strapless dress, short and tight fitting. I can imagine my mother wearing this. It's really the kind of garment she must have worn when getting out. Contrary to the blue one, it leaves very little to the imagination between the bare shoulders and the shortness of the skirt. Which one should I choose? Oh, which one was the long blue? Or the pastel? The strapless? Elegant, or what do you think? Okay, so Elsa or Anna. I'm gonna go Anna. It's a bit light for October, but the weather seems warm enough, and she don't look bad in it. I might be a bit cold, but I'll have to deal with it. It's not like I have 1,000 options. Confirm my choice. Final choice. Now that I have dealt with the dress, I just have to do something with my hair. Really, we're gonna go through her getting ready. I gather in a quick bun, liner, lipstick, and I'm ready to go. It's already late when I leave the house. Thank God. I get inside. I thought we were gonna have to okay, let's paint my makeup on. It's not that kind of game, is it? I get inside my small car, and after a quick ride, I'm there. The gardens of the City Hall are magnificent, with their trees donned in the flaming colors of fall. There's already a lot of people hanging around in small groups drinking glasses of wine leisurely. The guests are all dressed up to the nines, and the luxury of the event looks more like a big wedding than a town gathering in a small countryside village. I need coffee because I am drying out. That was good. Okay. The Maltese clearly don't balk at the expenses. Well, expenses. I barely have enough time to ask for a cup of champagne at the buffet. Who gets a cup of champagne? A little plastic, like kitty cup? Does it have a sippy? Before I'm approached by a large man in a black suit. Excuse me while I drink from my sippy wine. Yes. Oh. He's closely followed by a tall and haughty blonde woman. I can reasonably deduce she's his wife. Progress saved. Oh, good. Okay. Yves Monterre. Ah, good evening, miss. You must be the new owner of the castle. I'm glad you came to our little party. I must confess, I was eager to learn a bit more about the new owner of the castle. Let me introduce you to my wife. What? Mrs. Maltaire. Good evening, miss. Ooh, she's a witch. Witch! Right here. Look at that face and them earrings and the black. She's witch. Witch. Pleased to meet you. Her icy handshake contrasts sharply with the friendliness of her husband. I can read a mix of contempt and distaste in her eyes. Weird. Looks like my daughter, whatever. Soli, has been ambushed by our elder, Mr. Mori. He points toward a pretty young blonde woman on the other side of the path. She's leaning toward an old man in a wheelchair who has caught her by her wrist and seems determined not to let her go for as long as decency will allow. About my son, I've heard you've already met him. Yes, I did. Since we're done with introductions, allow me to get straight to the point. I must admit my invitation wasn't totally innocent. Of course it wasn't, because you're rich. As as you're about to see for yourself later during the opening ceremony, we're very concerned about preservation of our cultural heritage here in the village. And as you may have heard, our relations with your grandmother were, how can I put it, tense. Cut short the conversation. Go on, buddy. That's what I heard around, indeed. I guess the maintenance costs of the castle are nothing to sneeze at. If you agree to open it to visitors at least a couple of days during the year, the city hall might generously help you pay some of the expenses. That doesn't seem like a bad. That's interesting. I would take the money, man. Rents ain't cheap, yo. Your offer is indeed quite interesting. It is, isn't it? I'm sure it's a win-win situation. The tower, especially, is an architectural marvel. A building so old and so well conserved, it's extremely rare, you know. It would be a shame to refuse the access to the public, and it would be even more tragic to see it fall in disrepair and lack of maintenance. It's not the kind of decision one can take lightly. I'll have to think about it. Good girl, Daphne. That's how you do things. Anyway, let me assure you that I come with the best intentions, and I hope with all my heart that your moving here will be under the sign of a new understanding between our families. You know about the tower. What happened between our families? Ooh, tower? Families. Tower? Family, tower. I want to know about the tower. I'm surprised the tower interests you this much. Can you tell me more about its history? I keep forgetting you're not from here. Everyone knows the legends in the village, so we tend to forget that everyone doesn't share our local heritage. The legends? Oh, local stories like you find everywhere. I wouldn't want to bore you with it. Let's just say the tower is somehow the emblem of the village, and people would enjoy having it back in the common heritage. Ew. Tell me more about history. History lessons or legends? I find these local stories fascinating. Can you tell me more? Well, there's, of course, the story of the Maiden's Ghost, a young woman who would have killed herself after a heartbreak by jumping from the top of the tower. It is said you can hear her cries during full moon nights. There's also the one about the Sphinx and the Druidess. Oh, really? Yes. Talking about that, you'll have to excuse me. But I'm afraid I'll have to tell you another time. Really? Time doesn't go backwards, and I have to prepare for the unveiling of the statue. Note to self: edit out the F word. Okay. Yves Monterre disappears into the crowd. Now that I know who the other members of the family are, I'll be able to question them directly. Solane, is still struggling with the old man and Clothild. Clothild? Is that a real name? Okay, her mother seems to have taken advantage of her husband's departure to get to the buffet. And after all, nothing forces me to engage in social niceties. I can I can also decide I've seen enough and go home. What should I do? No, we need to find Soul. Seeing me approach, Celine seizes her chance and finally manages to extricate herself from the claws of Mr. Mori. So Mori's in a wheelchair, huh? Oh wow. I can see for an instant a mix of gratitude and relief in her eyes. Then she comes towards me with a large smile. You must be Daphne de la Tour. I'm Soleil Maltaire, Stan's older sister. Pleased to meet you. What should I call her? Soul. I'll call her Soul. All the pleasure is mine. I was looking forward to meeting you. Stan told me you were coming. You were charming. I've seen him with your son. Told me about you. There we go. Yes, indeed. He was picking up your son at the end of the school day. Ah, then you met my kid. I hope he behaved himself around you. I know he's a handful since his dad passed away. Well, it's not easy every day. Sorry to hear that. Thank you. It's nice of you to say this. It's been hard, but I'm getting better one day at a time. And Stan was fantastic. He held me afloat during the hard times. He held me afloat. See, I knew they were just having some translation issues in this. He held me afloat during the hard times after the accident. He took good care of his little nephew. And I must confess, he told me a lot about you. Really? Told you about me? He did, and I apologize in advance for his behavior. I know how he can be around women. He might resent me telling you this, but I think he's got quite a crush on you. Duh. He's barking up the wrong damn tree. Yeah, me too. I must admit it. I got a little crush on him too. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to say. Can I go back? Wait. Oh no, I don't want to have a crush on the. Oh. Thanks for telling me. I know it's none of my business, but I hope you have the best intentions for him. Stan never got lucky in love. He really needs a stable relationship. And then it's quite tense between our parents and him. If he could free himself a little from the family, it would do him a lot of good. Well, this might make it so that there's like a little connection and story push with the whole Stan thing. So we'll see what happens. The issue is that he's typically the kind of person that needs to be pushed around to commit himself. Yeah, great. Another lazy. Just saying, without wanting to pressure you, then I'm counting on you, Daphne. My God, she bursts out laughing. But enough talk about my brother. Tell me more about yourself. What are you doing for a living? Do you like it here in the village? Who are you? Where are you from? What'd you do for a living? What's your maiden name? We talk about a good 20 minutes. Sold sign seems nice and outgoing, but I have a hard time deciding if it's not just a facade. Excuse me. Itchies. And I seem to lose her attention several times until, without notice, she leaves me hanging there to engulf herself in the city hall. Inside the city hall. Just bolt? What should I do next? Go home? Well, let's go talk to Clothy lady. Oh. Clothes is chatting with a group of people smartly dressed, a vague smile on her lips. Her face is very hard to read. Is she attending this function reluctantly, or is her distant and haughty attitude really revealing of her personality? Seeing me approach, she apologizes to her guest and takes me aside. Mrs. Maltaire. Listen, girl, I'm talking to Dr. Zakarian and his wife. If you haven't been raised well enough to understand common decency, I hope you'll excuse my being straightforward, but I'm afraid I have neither the time nor the urge to help you correct your lackings. What? So if you don't mind, I'll go back to my guests and you, I don't know, enjoy the buffet maybe? What a B word. I wish you an excellent evening. Get worked up. No. Yeah, I'm gonna get worked up, because screw this lady. What? Excuse me, wasn't I clear enough? To say it in a way you might understand? Off you go. Bye-bye. Tell me what I did to justify such hostility. You are a de la Tour, and the apples don't fall far from the tree. So, you haven't done anything yet. But I'm no fool, and I know that sooner or later your presence at the castle is going to generate a catastrophe. My husband entertains the romantic idea that you would be different, that you weren't raised here, and that we should hold out our hand to the de la Tours at the risk of being bitten again. You understand that I'm not of the same mind. The Maltese are self-made men, not like you, who always had everything. You may choose to ignore it, but you really were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, whatever. If you say so. Don't try to hide behind self importance or fake feeling of superiority, miss. It doesn't suit you at all. Stop insulting me. Tell me why you hate me so much. I think it's pretty obvious. She thinks you're a stuck up turd with a dangerous family. Ask the slut. Asked the slut. Whoa, hold on. Let me try that again. Ask the slut you call your mother. Where is she? She wasn't brave enough to finish what she started, was she? Oh, God, here we go. I see you share her sense of style. What are you thinking? Oh, I get you. That you were coming to the farmer's harvest dance? God. Defend the family because we don't like mom. What could have happened? What could have happened that was so horrible that you were lashing out so hard at my family? I'm not responsible for what happened 30 years ago. 30 years ago? You were so off the mark. And yet, there's one possible issue, and it's the end of one of our families. What? Okay. What are you afraid of? My mother and I are the last Dallas who are still alive. The castle is threatening to become a ruin, and you have the city hall, your sawmill, and more money than you could count. For as long as you have the castle, you'll be a threat. But why? Is it about what's inside the tower? I've already said too much. Enough. Stop making a scene. You look ridiculous. I wish I could bid you farewell, but I'm afraid we're not rid of you yet, girl. With no further ado, she turns around, leaving me hanging there to go back to her guests. Okay, I realize there's kind of a sway in the crowd. The guests are gathering around a tribune. I guess the unveiling of the ceremony is about to begin. Someone's walking against the current, splitting the crowd in my direction. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Daphne? Oh, God. It's Stan. He's carrying a glass of wine and he seems a bit drunk. You came. Nice. Not now. I don't have time to deal with this. Leave me alone, please. Something tells me you're going to hate me for that, but I've been wanting to do this since I saw you for the first time this summer at the bakery. Without notice, he takes me in his arm and oh my God, here we go. I look into his eyes and I understand perfectly well what is about to happen. I'm trying to hold him back, but his lips are up on mine. Luckily, I'm saved by the rasping voice that stops Stanislaus in his track. Rasping voice, huh? Oh, Beatrice. Oh, the BL. Ah, isn't corrupting our youth enough for you? Jesus. BL is standing next to us and looks at me with a look of anger and reprobation. Really? What language? Whatever. Calm down, Miss Levique. I was just about to leave. If you could just... Beatrice doesn't wait for me to finish my sentence before throwing the contents of her glass of red wine at my face. That's for you, dirty. Surprised by the aggression, I step backward and fall over. I feel a sharp pain in my left hand. My cheeks get flushed. I have a ball of heat radiating inside my chest. Uh-oh. What did I do to myself? Dirty what? Dirty witch? Is that what you meant to say? Stan helps me get up. I have something warm and moist dripping from my finger. I realize I must have cut my hand. And okay, I see I'm injured. Are you happy? Oh, here we go. Since you are so sure that I'm a dirty witch, then I curse you. You're going to pay for what you did to me tonight. Excuse me. Is that what you were waiting for? Are you satisfied? If I'm a spellcaster, as you say, why not put my powers to good use? Look at her eyes. It's all red and what have you. Daphne, your hand. Blood has been drawn. Careful with what you're about to... Uh-oh. I have the perverse satisfaction to see Miss Levique turning white as a sheet. I hold her gaze until she gives up and turns on her heels. Stan puts his hand on my shoulder and shakes me gently. Daphne? Do you realize what... I cut him off and lash out. Oh, that's enough now. Leave me alone. I stride into the bathroom to wash my hand, mop up the wine from my face, and most of all, try to calm down. In the distance, on the tribune, Yves Monter has taken the microphone and is about to speak. My dear friends, neighbors, and fellow citizens, we got together to celebrate the start of the fall season. As you know, by tradition, this time of the year is dedicated to reflection and remembrance. It's a time when we think about our lost relatives who are waiting for us on the other side. But it is also the time of the offering, when we pray to the invisible entities of our mild winter for a mild winter. That's why our craftsmen have worked hard during the summer for this celebration. So that we would be ready in time to show you the fruit of our efforts. As we're leaving summer behind to enter winter, this time of offering, as I said, seems like the appropriate time to renew our pact with our protectors. Those invisible forces who allow our traditions to survive, century after century, not to disappear because of invasions of external influences, and who bring us luck, happiness, and prosperity every year. So I'm proud to present you a physical representation of our pact, this statue, symbol of our community that has been deteriorated by the years and the weather, and has now been made anew by the masterful hand of our local craftsmen. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the Sphinx. Oh, she left too early. Well, I'm going to cut this right here since that's a little crazy. And I think somebody's going to die. I think Miss BL is going to have a bit of breathing problems next time she goes to eat a cherry or something like that. So either way, guys, I'm going to leave it right here. Finally, it got exciting. Enough dressing and Stan with kissy face. But either way, I'm going to leave it right here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Comment on anything. If you think I should be making different choices, let me know. And that's about it. Subscribe if you really liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.